Tim Pancakes.
Hi everybody, Tim Pancakes here with Karen the Bestie. Hello, Karen.
Hello, Timothy.
I'm happy to report I've got a front tooth, and I was feeling a little bit like Hagrid, so I decided to shave the beard.
And just the beard.
And just the beard. So I don't know how long this will last, but
Hopefully not.
Karen is not a fan. So today we are doing the Sims 4 April 2020 community vote. We would love to get your input and thoughts on potential ideas, additions, changes, and or features. This survey should take about 8 to 10 minutes to complete and is 9 questions long.
I'd like to make a prediction that's going to take us probably a half hour.
Oh, okay. It is 4:47. Let's see how we do. Bands is first for me. Go ahead.
I'm going to say that I'm going to rate this a 10.
Okay.
Very interested. I feel like this is something that Get Famous was missing.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that we could only do actor career and then that was really the only fame other than little side stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it will be a great, I don't know if it'd be an addition to that or what, but
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely love the music idea.
Yeah, I feel like for me, this is something where I don't not want it, but I don't want it at the expense of something else. Because there are things on the list that I was way more excited about. So if we didn't get it, I wouldn't miss it, but I wouldn't mind if we got a pack for it. I would still get really jazzed. So I'm going to give it a 6 because it's a bit more than halfway for me, but, you know, I really don't feel one way or the other necessarily.
Well, if you look at question 2, I'm not sure if this is going to influence your score, but that's actually where we rank.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. So what my thought on here is I'm just thinking of it as an individual item,
Mm-hmm.
and then, rank it.
Okay, well, with that in mind, I'll give it a 7. It got 1 more point. Next is NPC story progression.
10.
10. Yeah, I am going to say 10. Well, I'm going to say 9 because, well, I don't know. I mean, I really want this, but my game style is to basically control all the households that I'm playing. And so what I did not like in The Sims 3 was that as I was playing one household, other houses were still progressing. And I don't, at least I didn't know that there was a way to turn that off. I didn't play very long in that game, but I would like that if I could turn it off. You know what I mean?
But I feel like NPC story progression is probably one of the main reasons that people get the MCCC mod.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things that when I do play with MCC, one of the things that I like to do is have that story progression.
Sure. How about culinary quest?
If they fix restaurants alongside it, I'm not really interested in it. I'm gonna give it a 3.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I agree. I would want this if they fixed restaurants. And honestly, a lot of these things, I'm kind of like, okay, but can the game support this to do it well? So,
right.
I mean, I really hope that they do address some of the foundational base issues with the game in order to handle some of these things, which would be really cool. But yeah, I mean, just like
what this, almost reading through these, it kind of, some of them at least sound like updates, potentially free updates to expansion and game packs and stuff.
Yeah, I hope so. I really do. Yeah, I'm gonna give that one a 4, just because again, I'm not like you said for your 3. I could take it or leave it. Well, next is American High School. I'm just gonna say 10, and I don't feel like I need to explain it anymore. What about you?
I'm gonna give it a 7 because it's something that will benefit something of a sim other than a young adult or adult.
That's true. That's huge.
That being said, I know we are in America, so we went through American high school and we're familiar with it. It might be nostalgic for us.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if other countries want to.
That's fair. Well, I also am curious if it would be like kind of like the go to work expansion. Like, would you actually go to high school to experience this stuff, or I don't know.
Well, and I would also want like a private high school,
Me too.
maybe play out our Gilmore Girls
Oh,
fantasies.
absolutely. Next is cheer for me, and I said 10. Again, I don't really feel like I need to say too much about this, but I have been sorely missing it. And honestly, I would be happy if we just got a cheerleading outfit, which I guess we do have technically in the costumes. I think with one of the packs, we got like a bunch of Star Wars costumes, and there's cheerleader options in there, but I actually want attire that they can wear so that I can have my, cheerleader Sims, my little clique of them, and they're just always in the uniform all the time like Glee.
I gave it a 10 as well. I definitely would love cheer. I think it'd be really fun. Especially if it interworked with like the high school.
Yes, totally.
Then it'd be a lot of fun to like build up skill and maybe get some clicks going and that sort of stuff. I think that'd be fun.
All right, how about heists?
10.
Yeah, I think so too, because it's very interesting. It's not something we've seen before, at least as far as I know. And I love the Danny Ocean references.
Kind of seen it before. I think it was in The Sims 3, so you might
that
not.
Might be why.
I forget which. It's either 2 or 3, but I think it's 3. Where and this is one thing I was actually disappointed with The Sims 4 criminal career. In the Sims 3 criminal career, you would actually go and like rob things and do all. It was actually more of an active career type, kind of like the get to work thing, and so it was so much fun to do that. I think one of the fun things about The Sims is that people like is that we get to do things that aren't necessarily legal or okay.
Right. Yeah.
We can kind of get our little like thick twisted fantasies out.
Yeah, totally. That's very fair. The next one on the list is fan club creator.
Yeah, I gave it a 2.
Okay. I gave it a 5 because I would like that more than I would culinary quest.
I'm just really not interested in that. Like, I do like doing like fame. I do like making celebrity Sims. But I feel like in my gameplay, if that were an option, I'd probably do it once just to kind of see.
To see what it does, yeah.
I probably wouldn't use it after that.
Next is growing pains and life issues.
I'm giving that an 8.
Interesting. I thought it would surely be a 10. Shopping malls is next on the list, so how do you rank that one?
This is kind of similar. I kind of have a similar feeling to this as I do with the culinary, because I feel like the retail does not function very well. So I'm a little worried about that. I love the idea of shopping malls, but the actual playing of retail just doesn't function in a way that makes me play it.
Yeah, I loved Open for Business in The Sims 2, but it's not like that.
I did too. I really love that. So I'll give this one probably a 4.
I think that if it gave me a lot to do, because I oftentimes am just looking for like group activities. Like if I have friends over to the house, what can we do besides listen to music and watch TV? So if I have my group of Sims in their cheerleader outfits and they want to go to the mall, is there going to be a lot of activity at the mall that'll keep them entertained? And if that's the case, I would rank this a lot higher. But right now, I think I rank it at a 4 with culinary quest. The last one is modern love and romance.
I don't know what they mean.
I think it's like swipe left or right, online dating.
And we've had online dating before. I like the idea. I mean, because basically how I've heard like a Sim's sexuality is explained as they're just kind of like pansexual, where it's just whatever you want them to be. There's not going to be, at this point, they're not gravitating one way or the other. So I'm wondering if that's kind of what they're talking about, like getting like maybe more specific, more individualized for each Sim, even as like, like feet turn him on.
Oh, I see. Yeah, turn-ons and turn-offs like The Sims 2 would be fantastic.
Yeah, and like you remember how you would like try so hard, like you wanted your sim to like marry this other sim, but they had zero interest in you no
Yeah,
matter what.
so hard. Yeah,
That was fun though. I kind of liked that.
yeah. If they
So
beef it up more, that'd be interesting. What's your ranking?
I did the same. An
Cool.
8.
What was your 10, 9, and 8?
Number 10 was fan club creator.
Okay.
Number 9 was culinary quest,
Mm-hmm.
and then number 8 was shopping malls.
Okay. My number 10 was bands, which is weird because that was my fourth highest. I gave it a 7, but apparently it's my number 10 choice. I th- I think it's because I just am not excited about it. I don't care. So it's my number 10. But
That's really funny.
my number 9 and 8 were the same, Culinary Quest and shopping malls. How about 7 through 4?
7 was American high school.
Okay.
Number 6 was growing pains and issues.
Okay.
And number 5 was modern love and romance. So on my scoring, modern love and romance and growing pains and life issues, I actually scored them the same.
Okay.
And I just thought, you know what? Actually, I'm going to switch that. I was having issues.
Okay.
So hang on. Growing pains is number 5. And modern love and romance is number 6.
Okay.
This is I like and I like those kind of being in the middle because those are, I feel like, base game story progression.
Sure.
That will
What's your
help
number
there.
4?
My number 4 is NPC story progression.
All right. So yeah, I actually had a couple the same as you, but there's a couple also that were just vastly different. Like my number 1 was in your middle section. So my 7 was fan club creator. My 6 was modern love and romance. My 5 was heists, and my 4 was NPC story progression.
So my number 3
Mhm.
was your number 10. Bam.
How funny.
I think like I said, I just like to do celebrity
Hmm.
Sims, so I think bands will be a really fun thing to add to it.
I do agree that music was missing from that pack.
I was kind of disappointed that there was only acting and that there wasn't music or dance or that sort of thing. And like you couldn't even be like a director or anything. It's like you have to do or nothing.
That's true.
Number 2 is cheer,
Mm-hmm.
and number 1 is heists.
Okay, so my number 3 was American High School. My number 2 was cheer, and my number 1 was growing pains. And those 3 were like easy for me to pick. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, actually, my top 4 I had rated 10.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kind of, in ranking them, I just kind of thought, okay, what's the ones that like, which one am I really excited about? And
Sure.
honestly, heist just like makes me giddy.
Yeah,
So,
I think that's exciting too. I will say when I ranked heists as number 5, I was surprised it was so low on my list. But then when I look at all the other ones, I'm like, well, I think that it's where it needs to be on mine. So please rank the following locales, with 1 being your most wanted and 10 being your least wanted. All right, let's do 10, 9, 8.
okay, this has no reflection on the country or culture of
Seconded.
I would want to go to any of these countries.
Yes.
They made us rank it. So number 10 is Italian vineyards.
Mm-hmm.
Number 9 is Korean city. And number 8 is Spanish city.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna have very different lists. So tell me why you made those your bottom 3.
Okay, so the Italian vineyards I'm really not that interested in. We've had that in the past Sims, and then it's like, okay. And honestly, the Spanish and Korean city is because they were just kind of there, and I ranked but I feel like maybe similar regions higher.
Sure. My number 10 was going to be Greek islands because I felt like it won't be that much different than from Sulani. I realize that that's not true at all. Like like they are very different, but like to me in The Sims, an island oasis is an island oasis, and I don't need any more. That was going to be my number 10, but then I realized the Costa Rican rainforest is really my number 10 because I I kind of imagined Silva Dorada. Like it's a jungle, so it's very again it's different. But I just am like I don't really need any more of that. So I'm also not outdoorsy in the slightest, and I've never been to Silva Dorada, so I just don't need another location not to go to. And then I said Swiss Mountain Town as number 8 because I kind of felt like Windenburg has some of that like Swiss vibe going, but maybe again, this is an ignorant Washingtonian in America who doesn't really know about these places.
I think that town is supposed to be more like a German.
Oh, you're probably right, and that's very different, I guess. We have these summer and desert places that are summer year round. I would like a mountain town that's winter year round.
So 7, I did Brazilian Beach Town,
Okay.
which I was kind of similar to your Sulani.
Yeah.
I know Sulani, I think, is more based on Hawaii.
Yeah,
and
the
that
Polynesian.
culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I understand that those are two very different cultures. But again, we already have a beach town.
Mm-hmm.
6 was Chinese countryside. And I think that'd be really cool, actually. I think other things just sounded more interesting to me.
Uh-huh.
I would love to actually to have a Chinese countryside.
Mm-hmm.
And then number 5 was the Swiss mountain town. And then number 4, I did South African City.
So my 7 is also Brazilian beach town. Mm-hmm. And yeah, same thing. I think it was just kind of like, by the time I got to 7, I was kind of like, I had already put down all the ones I really wanted. And now I was just trying to like rank the bottom ones and same, you know, we have beaches, just like you said. So I feel good about that. 6, I put as the Italian vineyards. I kind of thought, at least in The Sims 4, you know, we don't really have anything that is kind of like Tuscany and vineyards, like something for my rich Sims to go to or whatever, you know what I mean? So I thought that'd be fun. 5, I did the Scottish Highlands, because now we're starting to get into the like, okay, we don't have this in the game and I want it. So Scottish Highlands, I thought that would be just beautiful. And 4, I put Korean City because I think you kind of touched on it, but like we have one city in the game and I really want to see what different cities look like. So my top 4 are like all the cities basically. And I was very interested to see how would a Korean city differ from what we already have in San Myshuno. You know what I mean?
So the top 3 kind of came from where if I could go somewhere, I'd want to go there. Number 3 is the Scottish Highlands. Mm-hmm. Now, if you're really following along, my top 2 were Tim's bottom 2.
Yes, I'm gonna guess. I don't know. I mean, I want to say Greek islands. I'm just gonna say Greek islands.
Yep.
Oh, I got it right.
Yeah, because remember before I moved to Boise, I was like, let's go on a cruise to Greece.
I do remember that now. That's so funny that those were my bottom 2. But also, I'm not surprised because
I'm not surprised either. I thought it was really funny though when you're when you're saying Greek islands is gonna be my number 10, but then I make
you're like, well, shoot.
The other one that you're talking about, like it's more of a jungle, whereas a rainforest might have I feel like has a very different experience. I don't think we've ever had a rainforest.
Yeah, I mean, I will be the first to admit I don't know the difference between a rainforest and a jungle. Well, my top 3 are the Chinese countryside because again, I think a countryside is something we're also kind of missing, and none of the other ones really had. I mean, I guess the closest would be the Scottish Highlands, but I kind of want to see what a countryside would look like in The Sims. I picked 2 as a South African city, and that one I picked because honestly, I can't even begin to imagine what that would be. I have no idea. Like you were saying, super ignorant here. I don't know what a South African city would look like. And then my number 1 was a Spanish city, which I think I was really quick to choose that one. On a scale of 1 to 10, where 10 is the highest and 1 is the lowest, how interested are you in the Sims team deepening the existing content below? Let's just go down the list together. The first one that I have is consequences of making or breaking relationships.
I'm going to say 8.
Yeah. I do too.
Well, because I feel like that, that could potentially be like, okay, when you break up with someone, then, you know, it's going to be more in depth and
more than them being angry for half an hour. Next is emotions. I'm going to say 1.
I'm giving that a 3.
Next is developing traits over time.
I wonder what that means.
You know, I kind of question that too. I think because it's not super clear, but it's something I'm interested in, because I think anything that can be slowly developed over time is an A+ in my book. I'm going to say a 7, just because I don't really know what it is. Maybe it'd be higher if I understood, but I like the sound of it.
Yeah, I do too. I ranked it as a 6. But I believe it's an MCCC as well. And it's one thing that I use where the kids are more likely to inherit traits.
Ooh, I like that.
Kind of like the genes, you know. So if it's something like that, I'm highly interested, and I think that would be really fun.
Well, okay, that segues nicely into the next one, which is being born with traits. It sounds like you want that to be like a 10.
Yeah.
Family evolution outside the household.
I want control over the Sims I'm going to play.
Exactly. I do too. I want to be able to turn it on or off for sure.
It makes me nervous that I don't want them to mess with my played household.
Totally.
But I'm guessing the household is non-player, and they're just trying to make it sound different.
Yeah, that could be. That works. So I said 10. Did you say 10?
Yeah.
Connections to family members outside of the household. I'm giving that 10, and here's what I think that means. I am really sick and tired of going like a sim year and not talking to my aunt, and then all of a sudden have to meet each other for the first time again.
Yeah.
I think if you're related, you should automatically know who they are. Maybe you don't have a good relationship necessarily, but I don't think they should forget who Sims are, and I don't even want that to be just family members. I think once you meet someone, if you've ever been a friend, I don't think that they should forget each other.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I did 10 as well for very similar reasons.
Control of Sims that are not currently on the active lot.
1.
I initially did that myself, but then I thought about it again, because I'm like, okay, if I'm at a community lot and I'm playing my sim, I don't want to control anybody else. But then I reread the question, and what I think how I'm interpreting it is, if I'm at home and my Sims are at work or school, you know how you can kind of change how they're performing?
Oh.
If that's what they mean, I like that. I'm like Plumbella, where I like sending my Sims down rabbit holes, but if I can still kind of control what they're doing while they're off the lot, I like that. So if that's what this means, I mean, I would rank that a 10.
I gave it a 4.
Next, long-term and short-term desires.
Long-term is 10. Short-term is 5.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same way. I like having one aspiration or whatever to work towards. So I also gave long-term a 10, but I went ahead and gave short-term a 2 because I cannot be bothered.
So my bottom 3 are, number 9 is control of Sims that are not currently on the active lot.
Okay.
Number 8 is emotions, and number 7 is short-term desires. And basically, I just don't care about those right now. I feel like we have enough of that in The Sims, and I'm okay with not having.
My number 9 was emotions. My number 8 was short-term desires. And my number 7 was developing traits over time.
6 was long-term desires. 5, family evolution outside the household. Number 4 is developing traits over time.
My number 6 was consequences of making or breaking relationships. And with that, those were my 4 that were not 10s, so they were my bottom 4. Everything else was a 10, so I just did my best to kind of rank them. So my number 5 is being born with traits, and my number 4 is control of Sims that are currently not on the lot that's active.
Top 3. So my number 3 was connections to family members outside the household. Mm-hmm. Number 2, I have consequences of making or breaking relationships. Mm-hmm. And then number 1 being born with traits.
My number 3 is long-term desires. My number 2 was family evolution outside the household. I think that's kind of fun and exciting, again, with the caveat that I can turn it off if I want to. And number one is the connections to family members, because I am so tired of having to meet these Sims for the first time over and over. Which of the following creative Sim categories would you want to see additional content for? Please pick at least one and no more than 3.
So tattoos, for sure. I love tattoos. I have like 11 or 12 right now, and I am definitely going to get more. So I love putting tattoos on my Sims. And my second one, well, outfits. I literally just go to like the pre-made outfits. I'm like, what looks good here?
Yeah.
Okay. And the last one I chose was bottoms, because when I do actually go in and dive deep into creating outfits, I feel like bottoms, I tend to struggle with finding exactly what I want the most.
I never really put tattoos on my Sims. I have one Sim who has a tattoo, and
a tattoo.
Yeah, exactly. It's on her shoulder, so whenever she's in her formal wear, you can see it. But I always kind of forget they're there, to be honest. And I think part of that is that we don't have a whole lot of variety from what I've seen. It seems like there's so few options that I just don't use them, because if I did, all my Sims would have the same tattoo, and I don't want that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that being said, I should have probably chosen that one, but I knew that the community would come out for that one, so I didn't. I'm like, nope, the masses will cover that. I'm gonna follow my heart. My first one was hair, and then I picked tops because, kind of similarly to hair, like when I play Sims, they're kind of like cartoon characters. I never really change their hair, and I never really change their outfits. Like, they look the same for a long time, and then every once in a while,
You give them more than one outfit. You know how like you can have up to 5 of each type of outfit?
No, I don't. I basically give them one outfit
I
per
do
category.
that.
No, I want one outfit per category. So like a cartoon character, that's who they are. And then whenever I do change their outfit, it's like a big deal. Like, oh, she's growing up, so I'm gonna give her a bit more of a mature style, or whatever. Or she's gonna go goth for a few days, that kind of thing. I picked tops because I feel like having as much variety as possible with tops will lend itself to me making a big variety of Sims. And then my third category was makeup, and I don't find myself very good at it, probably because I don't really wear makeup in the real world, so I have no idea. I have a hard time not making my Sims look like clowns, and so I feel like if there's more makeup options, that will just make my life a little bit easier. All right, what new creative Sim categories would you like to see added to The Sims 4? So these are brand new ones.
Oh, I love this. Okay, so I chose micro answers simply because I want Sims to look more inclusive overall. So I chose things that I don't think we've ever seen, or maybe rarely seen in The Sims, and that would maybe make others feel represented. So I chose prosthetics, vitiligo, and scarves.
I picked body hair first just because I really want body hair for The Sims. But I also did pick prosthetics and vitiligo because, again, inclusivity and representation, and it'd be very interesting to see it in the game because we've never had them before. Please rank the following life stages based on which you would like to have more Create a Sim assets for.
How are teens not an option?
I know. What was your number 5?
Young adults.
Oh, that's funny. Mine was toddlers, because I pretty much keep them on what they're wearing, and then I never touch them again. Number 4?
Adults.
Me too. Okay. All right. 3?
Children.
Mine was young adults. 2?
Toddlers.
Mine was children. And 1?
We have the same one.
We must. Elders.
Wait, I was going to say, let's say it on 3.
Oh, okay.
1, 2, 3.
Elders.
There must be a delay.
I read the question very carefully because I feel like since this is cast-based only, like cast assets, I'm kind of like, okay, well, toddlers are my number 5 because really, I don't care what they're wearing.
So full disclosure, I did not read the question carefully.
Do you want to re-rank it?
I'm going to move children to number 2 and toddlers to number 3.
Okay. All right, number 9. Please rank the following life stages. Okay, Karen, here's your question. Please rank the following life stages based on which you would like to see additional gameplay for. I am low-key pissed that we don't have teens listed here because what the hell?
I am high-key pissed.
Number 6. Young adults.
Young adults.
Okay, so we both are like, we're good.
Well, I feel like the Sims 4 is like very, very geared towards young adults. Like that's where everything is.
Yeah. All right. Number 5. We both had adults.
Yep.
Okay. Number 4. Toddlers.
Children.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Number
3.
Children.
Babies.
Oh. 2. Elders.
Toddlers.
Okay. And number 1. 1, 2, 3. Babies.
Elders.
Okay. So I don't think any of them were right. Or excuse me, I don't think any of yours were right.
You mean you didn't match?
Yeah.
My opinion is correct, Tim.
Your opinion is valid.
That only took an hour and a half.
That's so silly. All right, thank you so much for watching.
And that's a stack.